So I think the way that you and most people in the world define success, this thing is not in, you gotta love cameras. So I think that the way that you and me and most people in the world choose to define success is all sorts of messed up. Think about it now. Take a second and think about what your version of success is. Yeah, I'm waiting. Okay, I bet you that the truth is you probably thought about financial success first, maybe familial success first, your family and friends, maybe career success. And I'd like to argue that we inherit our versions of success from social and cultural cues, and that is incredibly problematic for the world that we live in right now. Because if you inherit your version of success from somebody else, what you're not doing is seeing the work that they've put in to get there. You're not seeing the skill set that they have, the context that they have, the legs up that they've had. You're not seeing the full picture. You're just seeing the final outcome or result of that success. And you see it everywhere. You see it in social media. You see it on Instagram and TikTok and Face Smash and whatever these places are called anymore. But you are constantly seeing a version of success that I don't believe is real. I don't believe that this is what people are actually achieving. It makes me think of one of my favorite quotes, that if you judge a fish by its ability to climb a tree, it will always feel like a failure. Said in human terms, if you judge your own success by somebody else's measure, you will always feel like a failure. And I think that is leading to a lot of unhappiness and a lot of crash and burn in the world. And for me, it was absolutely the truth. In my early 20s and then 30s, my idea of success was inherited by the world around me in the technology startup space. So I've been building businesses in the tech space since I was 20 years old. And back then, Web 2 was a thing, and raising money was a thing, and venture capital. And the version of success I had there was, if you raise VC, you're a hero. So that's what I did. I went out and raised venture capital, regardless of whether the business was a good one or whether it was going to survive and we had a revenue model or our skill set justified all of that money. So I then had a crisis of entrepreneurship when I was about 35, 36. It's like 6 years ago. And I started to wonder if I was really good at this thing, if I was really happy building businesses or being an entrepreneur or founding another company, trying to solve problems. And after lots of therapy and many, many, many failures, my track record speaks for itself. 3 average exits, 13 failures, lots of trying, lots of deep burnout and physical manifestations of these struggles. So trying to build somebody else's version of success led me to kidney stones twice, a stomach ulcer that put me in hospital. I went bald in the space of 18 months, lost friends and relationships with family, all because I was trying to, very bluntly, be a billionaire. And it's what I thought that I needed and wanted back then. And growing up in Johannesburg, South Africa, the important part of the world when you're 23, 4, 5 is what car keys do you hold? Are you driving a Mercedes, a BMW, or something expensive? And then as I moved into the world, I started to understand that there is a cost to chasing this wrong success. And that cost is physical and mental and all of the other complications that come with only defining success in one simple way. And for me, it was bigger. My success needed to be bigger, more money, bigger businesses, bigger staff. Everything needed to be bigger. Fundamentally, though, the bigger things got, the less happy I was, and the more difficult I found everything. So moving to Amsterdam has really helped me with this, because the Dutch, they practice a lifestyle that I can only best describe as genoeg. In Dutch, the word is enough. And I love this. They're trying to have enough money, enough success, enough decorating in their homes, enough time out in the sun, enough time with their family and friends, just enough. And it really stuck with me that you should be aiming for enough. And that means a smaller economic life too. And so a few years ago, my partner, who is always very frugal, started to guide us in the direction of having enough, a smaller house, a smaller mortgage, a smaller everything, to the point where we don't own a car in Amsterdam. Obviously, we cycle everywhere. That's basically free transport. Our mortgage is so affordable that I can afford to quit my job and not really stress that much about money. And that's because I've embraced my profile for risk. And I am a high risk guy. I love taking risks on a lot of things. That means that living a smaller economic and financial life means that I'm able to go and put those bets in with my businesses. I'm able to go and commit myself fully to the idea of building something for 2 years because I don't have kids to put through school. I don't have universities to pay for. I don't have a big house. I don't have a big car. I don't shop for expensive things. And don't get me wrong, I do spend my money, but I spend it on things that ratify my idea of success. And I've literally started to write that down. What is it that I'm trying to build? And I think maybe let's pull it up and let's actually talk to you about my philosophy, right? So my philosophy, my goal in life is to experience life. That's it. That's what I measure against, is how much life am I experiencing? Businesses that I start, drugs that I take, holidays that I go on, lives that I experience that are different to mine. It's not happiness, right? Happiness is not a good measure for my version of success because you can't be happy all the time. Winning is also just one part of experiencing life, but you can't win all the time. Losing is experiencing life. Struggling is experiencing life. Suffering is experiencing life. And happiness is also experiencing life. Joy is experiencing a life. I'm building a life filled with experiences. I'm not leaving a legacy that I'll never know. I don't believe in leaving a legacy. That's not my version of success. I don't need a $1 billion business with 10,000 employees that will survive past me. I don't care what survives past me. I care that the world is fine and that people are good and all of those things, but I don't care what I put out into the world that survives past me. I don't need to be well-rounded or deeply focused. I need to amplify what is unique to me and build a life according to that. I have to remember, and as do you, that you have agency, I have agency. We have the ability to redefine our own versions of success. We have the ability to go and make this real. And so where do you start? Well, for me, it started with being brutally honest with myself. My crisis of entrepreneurship meant that I needed to reflect on my actual skills and what those skills could bring me and what I was interested in doing and who I was interested in working with and living with and building things with and where I wanted to be. And then recently I read this incredible paragraph from Kevin Kelly, who I just can't stop reading at the moment. And this paragraph really inspired me and motivated me around this entire topic of doing the thing that you want to do, and that being your version of success. And it goes as follows. Your life's goal should be to become the most improbable person you can be. Your path, your character, your life should be the most unlikely, the most unexpected, the least predictable version you can make. Improbable lives have fewer competitors, more unique rewards, and are harder to replace with AIs, since AIs run on the predictable. There is so much to unpack there, but the main thing that I absolutely love about this is your life's goal should be to become the most improbable person you can be. For years, I've believed that interesting and successful people smash together unexpected things. It's the threads, the patterns, and the trends beneath these unexpected and interesting things that make the most successful people able to see patterns that other people can't see. Putting yourself out there and having a diverse set of interests and skills, but ones that approach your interest in success and your version of success, super important. I think that everybody should take a second in their days and their lives to consider if the work they're doing today feeds into their overarching version of what a successful life is. If your version of a successful life is camping 5 weekends every 4 months, great. If your version of success means having enough time to become an ultra marathon runner and train 4 hours a day, amazing. If that's not your version of success, that's great too. The thing that I'm trying to index for is mine, my version of success, where my interests go, where my curiosity goes, not an inherited version of somebody else's idea of what that might be. Because the more I judge myself by their ability to climb that tree, the more I feel like a failure.